Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back, dear students. Now I hope you had an enjoyable weekend, and just to refresh what you took in the last week and have a very nice or good beginning now in this week. Now we're going to revise what we took in our lessons before. So just to see what we have here, we had the topic which is in Unit 1, 2 is better than 1. Our topic was about teamwork in general. So teamwork here, we have the listen and discuss lesson, which was an interesting discussion about the couples, Marie and Pierre Curie, and we have the Wright brothers. Now we are going to see what we took in page number 7, the vocabulary. Now in the vocabulary here, we have the words. We have the first one, which is devoted, meaning dedicated. We have the second one, pioneer, which means a person who starts or is involved in a new method or activity. We have the word reliable, which means here trusted to work well. We have number 4, extensive, which means something that covers a wide range. We have the word legendary, meaning famous. And the last one, aviation, which means airplane manufacture, development, and design. Now moving on, we have the homework. The homework, I asked you to prepare the comprehension questions that we have, page number 7 as well. So the first question, why did Marie Curie leave Poland after school? Now we're going to see what is the answer in this paragraph. The first paragraph, number 1, because women were not able to attend university in Poland in the 19th century. This is the answer. Moving on to the second question. The second question we have here, why were conditions difficult for Marie and Pierre Curie? Now we have a question, we want the reason why. Now what is the answer? We have in the paragraph, the answer is their laboratory facilities were hardly adequate and they had to do a lot of teaching to earn a living. Now we have the third question. Which discovery made Marie and Pierre Curie famous? Now there was a discovery mentioned. So going to the paragraph, you can see that it is the discovery of radioactivity. Moving on, we have number 4. How many Nobel Prizes did they win and when? So we know that there's not just one prize, more than one. So how many? We can see the answer. Now eventually won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1903. And we have the second one. In 1911, Marie Curie won another Nobel Prize, this time for chemistry. Moving on. We have number 5. How were the Wright brothers different from other experimenters? So we finished the first part, which was about Marie and Pierre Curie. We are going to see the Wright brothers here. So what is the answer? We can see the answer is the Wright brothers differed from other inventors of the time because their focus wasn't on creating more powerful engines. What they did focus on was developing a reliable pilot control system. Going back, we have question number 6. How did the Wright brothers gain mechanical skills? So of course, as experimenters, as scientists, they have their skills. So how did they gain their skills? So we're going to see the answer here. They gained valuable experience and mechanical skills by working with bicycles, motors, and other machinery in their shop for years. And we have the last question, question number 7. How did they develop their skills as pilots? So we have 2 skills. We have as mechanical, or we have here their mechanical skills, and then we have other skills as pilots. So we have the answer is going to be the last part. They developed their skills as pilots through extensive glider tests from 1900 to 1903 until their first powered flight. So we have here, these are the comprehension questions that we passed by. Now, how to remember? This is a very important question. You learned, you studied the vocabulary. Now you want to remember what you took. So we have a very simple skill here I call all in one. Now this skill here, we can see that I have a paragraph prepared for you. I wrote a paragraph using the vocabulary just to remember. So you can choose any topic you like and you can connect. If you recall, in the last week we talked about connecting. Now you are going to connect using the vocabulary in whatever context you wish. So we have here about King Abdulaziz. Now you can see the green words are the vocabulary that we learned. King Abdulaziz Al Saud was a legendary figure who devoted himself for his people. Ever since he was a young boy, he dreamed and he did fulfill his dream of unification. He had extensive plans to create a powerful country which other countries started to recognize. King Abdulaziz had reliable men by his side who were also the pioneers in many achievements directed by the king. New systems were established. Some of these systems were in education. Others were in health and medicine. Another system established was in aviation. All of these projects were just the beginning of great accomplishments we do witness every day. So you can see that I use the vocabulary in my paragraph. I wrote the paragraph just to revise and to remember what are the words that I learned. Now moving on, I want you to focus on something else in the same paragraph. If you notice that I have some underlined words, I have did, other, others, another, and do. So when I say that he dreamed and he did fulfill his dream, you can see even from how I pronounce the sentence, there is some kind of stress. Now you can also notice that I have the words other, others, and another. They are similar to each other. Now this is what we are going to learn in our lesson, which is the grammar lesson for the day. Now we are going to move on and see that we are going to study the emphatic do. And we have also the three words other, others, and another. So moving on, we have our objectives. Number one, to rephrase sentences using do to emphasize. So when we said that we have the emphatic do, you know it is now for emphasizing. We are going to emphasize or stress. Number two, use do before the infinitive. Number three, to structure sentences using other, others, and another. We have number four, to use other as an adjective. And we have here to use another as adjective or pronoun. So moving on. Now these are some statements or phrases that we know and we use every day. So for example, we have here the question, did you know? We have here, do not touch. You can do it. Things to do. Now they have different meanings, but we can see that we have here the verb do or its past tense did, or you can also use does for singular. Now here, what is the main point that I want? I want to use here do as an emphatic do. Did you know that you can use do to emphasize? So I'm not going to ask a question. I'm not going to just use it in a sentence. I am going to use it to emphasize my sentence. Now we're going to move on. To give you examples, we have here the emphatic do. Someone can ask you a question. For example, your teacher. She can ask you or he can ask you, you didn't attend the online class, did you? So for example, you have an online class, you have some exercises or something extra to do, and they are going to ask you, you didn't attend the class. You can emphasize by saying, but I did attend. So this doesn't just mean yes, it means that you are assuring, you are emphasizing that you did attend the class. Another example I can give you. The new cafe isn't that fancy. So you know that there are lots of cafes. Some of them are fancy, some are big, and some are small. So I can talk about the new cafe that I have in the neighborhood and say that the new cafe isn't fancy, but they do serve great coffee. So I'm not just saying that they have coffee or they serve good coffee. I want to emphasize, to stress that they do serve good coffee. A third example here. Sarah's grades are a bit low. So we have Sarah, she is studying maybe 7 or 8 subjects. Her grades are a bit low, but she does have a high one in math. So she is an excellent student in math. She excelled in it. So she does have a good one in math, which means that I'm emphasizing that math is a different subject. So now you get the point of emphatic do. Now, just to revise what you have here as points, we have the first one to emphasize the sentence. Emphatic do also can be used in different tenses before the action verb. Now you can see that I used it once with, I said did in the sentence. You didn't attend the class. Or Sarah does have a high mark in math. So we have here do, did, or does. They can be used, but be sure to use the infinitive, which is the base form of the verb after the emphatic do. We have also, it is always stressed in speech. So if you noticed when I was speaking that I stressed whenever I say that they do serve good coffee, she does have a high mark in math, which means that it is different. We have here a bit of stress. Now moving on, we have here the exercise in the book. You have your exercise page number 9. You can just see the book with me here. We have here to rewrite each sentence adding do, does, or did for emphasis. So we can say emphasize, emphatic, or emphasis, which is the noun. As an example, we have here I feel tired. I can emphasize by saying I do feel tired. We have the first example, I hope you get better quickly. I hope you get better quickly. We have the verb hope. I want to emphasize. I can say, I do hope you get better quickly. Another sentence, that child plays quietly. So we have here, mashallah, a child, he's playing quietly. So I can emphasize by saying that that child does play quietly. Now you can notice that we have here does is used because the base form or the basic verb in the sentence has an S. So it is singular. That's why that we used the verb does, because we went back to the basic verb in the sentence. We have the second exercise. So we're going to leave the rest of the first one as homework. And we're going to see what we have in exercise D, which is match the sentence beginnings and endings. Rewrite the sentences adding do, does, or did for emphasis. Now we have the first one as an example. The answer is number 1, we don't usually watch TV. The answer is going to be with C, but we watch that program. And we have the example here. We don't usually watch TV, but we do watch that program. So what did we do? We matched, and then we are going to emphasize. So we're going to just do 2 points. We have number 2. I'm afraid of heights. So you can just scan quickly here. We have the answer is going to be E, which is though I fly occasionally. And also here we have number 3, I forgot to call my friend. So which one do you think from these sentences? I forgot to call my friend. So we have here the answer is going to be B, but I sent my friend an email. Now I'm going to stop here. We are going to emphasize. Now the emphasis that we have here, the first one, number 2, which is going to be with E, I'm afraid of heights, though I do fly occasionally. And we have the second one, number 3, which goes with B, I forgot to call my friend, but I did send my friend an email. So moving on, we finished from the first part, which is going to be about the emphatic do. we are going to start with the second part. So observe the following sentences. Now I want you just to see the first part here. My brother didn't get the job, but he isn't worried. He has gotten other job offers to consider. So I'm talking about my brother here, and I want you just to look at the purple sentence or the purple part here. Other job offers. So he doesn't have just one job. We can see that there are other job offers. So we have here, if you can just look that we have here other, we used it with offers, which is plural. The second example, I've bought 2 books. One is fictional and the other is scientific. So I am talking about 2 books that I bought here. You can see that one is fictional, the other is scientific. So we used also other here in the sentence, and if you notice that we have here the other, no, the here or the other is like a determiner that we are using in the sentence. So we have here, we can use other with plural as in offers, and you can use it also with determiners like that. Now moving on with our examples, we have here the second part. We have here a couple of girls attended our school this year who were abroad. One studied in the UK and the other studied in Italy. So you can see also in these sentences I have here the word other again. Now we can just imagine that we have here these 2 girls. I am talking about one who studied in the UK and the other. So you can remember that or recall in the first examples, I said that we can use other with plural, and you can see that we can use it also with singular. So we have here the other girl. In the second example, do you have any other luggage? So when we carry luggage with us, now of course here before we move on, you can see that there is no noun, just to point out that we can use it without a noun. We can say the other studied in Italy without saying the other girl studied in Italy. So just to point out. And then we have the second one going back to our luggage. And here also to point out that when we say that we are going to take our luggage or we have luggage with us, we do not say luggages, which means that this word is uncountable. So here, you can see the example. Do you have any other luggage with you? Now, I just gave you the hint here that I am using also other with luggage, which is an uncountable word. Now, we're going to point out what we did here, the grammar rules. Now, you can see that I have here 3 parts. I'm going to fill in the first one with other. Now the 3 parts, which are what? We have here other, and I mentioned before others, and I did mention another. Now we're going to focus on other, which we took in the first 4 examples. What did we learn? We have here other can be used with plural or singular. We can use it with a determiner such as the, some, or any. We can use other also with definite and indefinite sentences. And we can also say that we use it with uncountables as well. So we have here these 4 points are specifically concerning or connected to other. Moving on, we have new examples. Now, from the first picture, you can see that there were 13 in the medical team. So we have here a big medical team. There are 13. 5 were doctors and the others were nurses. So what did you notice? In this sentence, instead of using other, we used here the word others. And you can see that there is an S, which means that we are using it with plural. So we have here a team. We have here 5 were doctors and the others in the team, they were nurses, plural. Also, I can see in the second example, the colored vases are for sale, the others aren't. So we have here or are not. Now you can see that we have here different vases. The colored ones, they are for sale, and the others are not. Now here, we can just focus on what we have. We have nurses, and we have here nurses as plural, as I mentioned, and here we have others are not. Here also there is, just to point out that you have to be careful and choose your helping verbs in the sentence. Moving on, we have the second part. This is the same map that I did before. Here, you can see that we have here others. There are just two simple points to remember. We have the first one, others is used as pronoun. So when we say that the vases, the colored vases are on sale, but the others aren't, others is used as a pronoun. And we have the second one. They are, of course, with the S, others used with plural. Now we have the last part here. Now just to point out here also, there is some notes. Other is followed by a noun or a pronoun. Others is a pronoun actually, and is not followed by a noun. Our last word is another. So they are connected to each other. Other, others, and another. Our example here, they went to 3 restaurants but didn't eat. One restaurant was crowded, another was closed, and the other was reserved. So you can see that I use the other because I'm talking about a restaurant here, and we have here another. Do I know what I'm talking about here when I said another is closed? Actually, yes, I am talking about a restaurant which is closed. So we have here, we have the helping verb was. And here I go back and just to remind you that you have to pay attention and watch out for your helping verbs. Now, since we are talking about helping verbs, just remember that I used here was. Now I'm going to see what we have here in the other examples. Another of Ahmed's friends showed up last night at the party. So we have here Ahmed, he has a party. A lot of his friends came. Now another of Ahmed's friends. So there are many friends here, and we can see that there is another one. So I'm talking about another friend. Now when I said in the first sentence, you have to watch out for was, watch out here also that I am pointing out another friend. Also we have here these pieces of chocolate. Now when I say yum, I love chocolate, give me another. Now what am I talking about here? Another. I am talking also about another piece of chocolate. So here there is an adding, there is additional. Now going back just to gather what I'm talking about, I said that we have here was, another of Ahmed's friends, and another, give me another, which I mean a piece of chocolate. So here you can realize with me that we are talking about singular words or singular nouns. Now remember that another is one word. Here you can see another in all 3 sentences, and we have here, as I mentioned, that another is one word, not an other, no, another. Time's up. I haven't finished yet. I need another 5 minutes. So you have an exam, for example, and your time is up, but you need another 5 minutes. Now we have here another 5 minutes. Here you can see that there are 5 minutes. It's not singular, but I need an addition. I need more. I can ask you a question. Do you want another cup of coffee? So if you are a coffee lover, now 1 cup may not be enough. You may need or you want another cup. The last one, he bought another motorbike. So let's say, for example, Ahmed, he has 2 bikes already, but he bought another one. So which means that we have here also an addition. So coming back to our last part in the lesson, we have here the last word is going to be another. Now you can see that we have here another is used with singular nouns. It is also used by itself as a pronoun when I say that I want another. It is used as an adjective. And also we have here, it is used something different. When I say that, we have here that he bought another motorbike. So it is different from the motorbikes that he had before. And we have here, of course, it is used with no determiner. I can't say the, another, no. Okay, so we have here, it goes alone. So this is going to be the second part. We have here the exercise in the book. We have here complete each sentence with other, others, or another. Now, that, for example, he says he is so full of beef burgers, he says he could not eat another. Number 2, you can use that topic for your paper. I have a few, not just one, few, which means that we have here others in mind for my paper. Now, exercise B in page number 9. We have here, read each sentence, then use your own ideas to write a second sentence using other, others, or another. Now we can say, for example, number 1, many people, young people, like to socialize on the internet, others do not. Number 2, one thing you can do to help the environment is recycle. Another thing is to conserve water. So you can use my examples. You can come up with something different here. Now here, it's an open answer for you. Now do not forget to do your homework, which is the rest of the exercises. We have ended our lesson here. Now what did we take in our lesson, the grammar lesson? We used grammar forms. We have the emphatic do, and we have also using other, others, and another in sentences. So be ready for your next lesson, inshallah. Don't forget your homework and have a nice day.